Number 2, reading aloud your daily text.
好客气老师当法官，救生艇第二部。好客气老师被指派为法官，并主持一场很罕见的案例。有2个人及一个团体被指控在船只沉没于公海后，意图谋杀且杀人未遂。好客气老师必须宣布是否有任何人在这个案件中是有罪的。
Hi everybody, it's time for the second part of our class. We're going to be reading a story. It's a Teacher How story, and it's called Teacher How Becomes a Judge, Lifeboat Part 2. I'll read it aloud first, but you have to practice by reading it aloud as well. Now, this is an advanced level class, so if you have trouble with it, don't worry. At least try to read part of the article aloud. Even if you can't read it all, read part of it. At least you'll be getting some practice, and it will help your English. Now, here we go. Teacher How receives a call from the president of the school. One of the judges at the local court was taking his son to play golf with the president of a big company to try to get him a job, which is another adventure for Teacher How later. And a replacement judge is needed for an unusual case. Having had rather unusual experiences, they felt Teacher How would be the perfect replacement. Judge How, with the new job comes a new name. So now he's a judge. Judge How arrives at the court and he takes his place at the front of the courtroom. The prosecutor stands up to make his opening remarks. Your Honor, the state brings a case of the lifeboat gang and Rock Bottom, accused of murder in the first degree, and Captain Salong, accused of attempted murder. Before you stands 8 members of the lifeboat gang. The other 2 accused are being tried posthumously. Judge How sits back and listens to the details of the case. 2 weeks ago, 9 tourists set out on a fishing trip on Captain Solong's boat, the Sink-a-Lot. Everything was going fine until the ship's engine breaks down and it starts taking on water. It was apparent that the ship was going to sink, and everyone was going to have to abandon ship. A problem arose when they realized that there is only enough room in the lifeboat for 9 people. A decision was going to have to be made on who was going to have to be left behind. As the water was filled with killer sharks, swimming was not an option. Captain Solong steps forward and states, as he is the captain of the ship, he will decide who will go and who will stay. He states his decision is to be made based on who is the most deserving to live. One of the passengers, Rock Bottom, did not like the sound of this. He was 75 years old, unemployed, had bad health, and he was in a wheelchair, unable to walk. Sure enough, the captain pointed to Rock and said, "Sayonara, adios, and see you later, alligator." Rock may have been old and not in the best health, but he was in the habit of carrying a big gun with him. He pulled it out, took aim, and pumped the captain full of lead. There, he says, that should solve the problem of seating on the lifeboat. Everybody get in. The other passengers were shocked, but did not think it is the best time or place to be arguing with a smoking hot gun. The lifeboat floated along, and day turned into night. Rock needs his sleep and soon is off in dreamland. The other passengers quickly huddled together and discussed what was to be done with Rock. He is a cold-blooded murderer, one says. Another adds, he still has his gun. Who knows who will be the next one to be shot? They all agree. We need to give poor Captain So Long justice. It was decided. They quickly jump on Rock while he is sleeping and throw him overboard. The sharks took care of the rest. Now, back in the courtroom, the prosecutor demanded that Captain So Long be convicted of the attempted murder of Rock Bottom. Rock Bottom must be convicted for the murder of Captain So Long. And all of the lifeboat gang must be convicted of the murder of Rock Bottom. Judge Howe scratches his head. Did Captain So Long use the right way to choose who was to be left behind? Was Rock acting in self-defense? Should the lifeboat gang have the right to hand out justice on the high seas? Were they also acting in self-defense? This was a most unusual case. Can you help Judge Howe? What should he do with all of these people? Convict them all? Acquit them all? Convict some, acquit others? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what is your verdict? That's it for the story. A little bit long, but lots of fun. Teacher Howe always gets into unusual predicaments. This time, he is asked to be a judge in a courtroom. And he hears a very unusual story about a group of people who went out on the boat. And the boat starts to sink, and they have to leave the ship, abandon ship. The only problem was there was not enough room in the lifeboat. So the captain was going to leave the guy in the wheelchair, the old fellow who was in a wheelchair, unemployed. He thought, well, we'll leave him. And don't forget, the water was filled with killer sharks, so the sharks would eat up whoever was left behind. But the old man, his name was Rock Bottom, he said, no, I don't think so. And he took out a gun and bang, 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 and he pumped the captain full of lead. That means he shot the captain many times with his gun. And then he said to everyone else, let's get on the lifeboat and go. So they did. And everyone was kind of shocked. Later, when the old man was sleeping, the other people decide that wasn't too fair, not very nice. So they grab the old man and throw him in the water. And then you can guess what the sharks did to him. Probably had a very nice dinner or a midnight snack. So now they're in court, and the prosecutor, that is the lawyer who works for the government, says that they want to charge the captain with attempted murder because he was going to leave Rock Bottom on the ship. But then Rock Bottom shot the captain, so he should be charged with murder. Then everybody killed Rock Bottom, so they should be charged with murder too. So then Judge Howe has to decide. Should they be charged? Should they be convicted of murder or attempted murder? Or should they all be acquitted? Acquitted means that they should be set free. Was it self-defense? Were they doing the right thing? Now that's a hard question. That's one for you to think about. Now that's it for our reading. Take some time to review the article, but then read it aloud to your family, friends, and classmates. It'll be lots of fun, and I'm sure they'll enjoy the story. Now let's go on to the next part of our class.